to pee. I meant to do that first. But,
good job.
Yeah, I'll do it when we get started.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. We should be live now, I think.
It says we're live, so we'll take that as being live.
It generally actually goes live when I click the go live button, so I'll assume that's the case. Anyway, yes, hello, everyone. How you all doing?
Excellent. Oh, good. Someone says we're live. That's fine.
Mm.
There is an audience member.
Yeah, if someone on the internet said it, it must be true.
Absolutely.
Mm. This live event will begin in 0. Yeah, something like that. That cooler looks like my wife's purse. Oh no.
At the beep, it will be precisely 17:43.
Man, the talking clock used to be the shit when I was a kid, though. At the third tone, the time sponsored by Accurist will be, I'm going to get the actual computer that we're working on.
Absolutely.
We probably need that.
Yes, it is oftentimes relevant to a stream that is about the computer.
Yes. Right. Are we clear? Yeah.
We're good. We're clear.
Okay.
Stay away from my coffee.
Yeah.
Dust away.
I put it down and a cloud of dust it came out of it.
Was expelled?
So, yes. Yes, expelled. That's the term I'm looking for. So, yes.
Was produced.
Hmm.
Oh, you can see that. Was this cooler? Yeah, this cooler was in your old.
Yeah, this was in my Cooler Master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you have the little feet.
Indeed. Right. I'll bring in I'll bring in this cam while we're working in this position. We're going to be experimenting with lots of different camera angles today based on what we're doing, and I'm just going to draw attention to it because I think it's heckin' awesome. Caradog's got a new Canon camera. What is it again? It's
EOS R6.
Yeah, Canon's got an EOS R6. Caradog's got a Canon EOS R6, which is our main camera today. So if you're looking at this picture going, damn, that looks really good. Yeah, that's what we said when we plugged it in. So yeah.
It's, yes. Also, my genuine other favourite feature is still the fact of how easily it does.
Look at that. Just autofocus that works. Imagine that.
It's amazing.
Mm. Can we have a shout out to the legend Clive Sinclair? You certainly can. Yeah.
Especially as your ZX Spectrum.
Yeah, indeed. Which I do actually plan on fixing. It's on the back burner. It's kind of it's not even on the back burner. It's on the shelf above the back burner. But It is
located in a place near to a heating device.
Yes, I do have a ZX Spectrum too, and I do plan on fixing it at some point. But yes, yeah, big F for Clive Sinclair. Yeah. On the ups and the downs, the guy was a legend. You can say that much. So yeah,
absolutely,
mad respect. Absolutely mad respect.
I know surprisingly little about him.
Watch. I tell you what. Go look it up on. It's available on YouTube because it was a document. It was a what's the thing where it's a documentary but also a drama. There's a term for it. That's like a portmanteau of documentary and drama.
Docuarma.
Yeah,
Dramuentry?
Yeah. Docudrama, there we go. Yeah,
okay.
Docudrama. There's a docudrama called Micromen. And it was
appropriate.
Yeah, and it's a story about Clive Sinclair versus the dude who ran Acorn Computers, and the story about their fierce rivalry in the very early days of the UK microcomputer scene. And it's the
official Secrets Act, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and it's a very, very good feature length. I don't want to call it. It's practically a movie, but it's based on the real life events. And I think it was a university project by some students or something like that. But it's really hecking good. And if you don't know the story about Sinclair versus Acorn, it's a fascinating story, and Microman explains it very, very well.
Oh, that's good.
It's very good for showing what the two men were like in personality.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I know like the headline things about like the Spectrums and the C1 and things like that, and the video phone, its name has just vanished from my mind.
I don't know what it's called, but yeah, there was a video phone, wasn't there? Yeah.
Yeah, or the internet phone.
Yeah.
That. So yes, those things.
Just out of interest, people, what's the sound like if I'm speaking in this direction? Because it suddenly occurred to me that I've put the microphone as such that when I'm talking to Caradog, I'm looking away from the mic. I hope that doesn't...
At the very least on the meters, you're still bouncing into the yellows.
Okay, that should be fine then, yeah. So yeah, sound is fine. Good. All right, so bench cam. Is that the bench? Where is it? Oh, it's frozen. Okay, that's why. Hold on. I was like, what the hell? That's not vaguely where the bench cam is pointing.
That's impressive.
Those things aren't even on the bench. Brio, deactivate, reactivate. There we go. That's
Ta-da.
more like it. Yeah.
I was impressively confused.
Right. That needs to be on inverted, I think. No, it doesn't. That'll do as long as you guys can see what's in the picture.
Absolutely.
Actually, it would be better if it was inverted. Yeah, I'm going to rotate that. Unlock. Transform. Rotate 180 degrees. There we go. That looks more better. There we go. It was horribly upside down. Right, okay, so this is our starting point, everyone. So let me tell you about the story of this thing while we get going. Muted in the high end, but totally fine. Yeah, no problem. That's probably where the limiter is kicking in if I suddenly boom into the microphone.
Also,
So-
high end will get
Oh,
nullified
yeah.
facing that way.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So, computer behind. Yes, it has started. I did it on purpose. I wanted to see if anyone would notice. And
So it begins.
you didn't disappoint. You didn't disappoint. Right. I'll just quickly tell you the story behind this while we get started. So this is the old motherboard, CPU, RAM, and cooler from my old daily computer, from my old Cooler Master. This is an FX8350, and this is the reason why I hate the FX CPUs in 2021, because I was running this up until late 2018, so I was dailying this, so I knew exactly why the FX8 does not hold up today, and why FX CPUs are not fit for purpose today. Literally get anything like 4th gen Intel that is also really heckin' old now, and it will blow your mind compared to one of these. However, word on the wire is they're rather good at overclocking.
Apparently you can get some high frequencies.
Yes,
out there.
not that they go fast, but they go to high clock speeds. So, yes indeed, that is a Zalman CNPS 9900, I think, or 9700, something like that.
Something along that way.
This is actually a really good cooler when it's not.
Is the fan shot?
No, it's not. It jiggles.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
As you spun it,
yeah.
it looked like the bearing was
Yeah.
going, wee, magical journey time.
It's a free floating fan. So yeah, this is complete. So it's all there. This is a really good cooler. It's just caked in dust. So after I built my new computer, I repackaged all of this into this case, and I sold it as a second-hand office box. Hence why it's just in there with a potato graphics card and an SSD. However, the owner of that this week came back into the shop and said, I bought an iMac, do you want this computer back? And I'm just like, sure. So the prodigal son returns. Yeah. So what I thought so I was like, what am I going to do with this now? I thought this was out of my life forever. And it's come back. So I sent a message to Caradog and said, my FX8 came back. Shall we put your freezer on it? So yes, cool story, bro. Needs more dragons. So first thing we need to do is fire it up and get a baseline. So actually, I'm going to turn this around so we can plug it in.
Oh god, that is a lot of dust.
That is a lot of dust. Should we try it with the dust first?
No.
Okay.
Only because the fans will blow it around.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, it would be nice not to catch a medieval disease today. So yeah. Okay, right.
We'll just restrict it to 2020 diseases.
Yeah. Oof. Okay, right. Well, I'm going to go and quickly air compressor this then. Right. Well, that being the case, then let's take it out of the chassis, and then we'll do our baseline with the air cooler bench top, because it doesn't need to be in here anymore, does it?
No.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So let's get this out.
That's fine. I imagine the SSD will stay with the case for now, because we'll swap to
Well, we're not going to use it today. Yeah.
Where's the red one gone?
Oh my word! It's here.
Oh, it is there. It's fine. It'll just become invisible.
There we go.
Right. Let me.
Bloody hell! All these plugs are really stiff, man. Oops! And I just took out the plastic bit.
And I broke it.
Of course, it just came off easily once it wasn't on the pins. And just see if I can reattach. I'll do that when we get the board out, actually. Tony Ton has tears. Caradog. No, absolutely no. Right. Also, welcome everyone to Channel 2 as well, by the way. Thank you all for tuning in. I haven't got the viewer count in front of me. I'll check it in a sec. I'm assuming it's going to be a quiet one today, but I was kind of hoping we'd have something a bit interesting for you guys. Also, there have been questions over people who are like, oh, do channel memberships carry over and stuff like that? Well, unfortunately, obviously, at the moment, this second channel is not yet monetized. I need to get some videos on it and then apply for partnership on it. And then after that, unfortunately, no, channel memberships will not carry over. I would recommend, for anyone who does have a channel membership, I would recommend keeping it with the main channel. Because then you can see any behind the scenes videos. But the only problem there, of course, is that you don't get your channel member icon in this chat. I wish there was something I could do about that, but there isn't. However, I'm gonna keep an open mind about this, and if anyone comes up with any suggestions, or if I hear of any good solutions to that, I'll implement it. But unfortunately, that's just going to be a concession we have to make.
Can you have secret tiers?
Secret tiers?
Yeah. So you could have like a, you buy one, you get one tier.
Oh, what, like manually assign it to people if they've got a channel membership or something?
Or something, yeah. I wonder if that's a thing.
I don't think so, no. No, sadly not.
Oh, no, there's one.
4,000 watch hours in the past year. Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. Make the channel members mods on this channel. Oof. No. No. I love you, my supporters, but no.
No.
That's going to need one of them. Right. I think this is ready to come out. One more up there.
Yeah. Oh, and the case fan.
Here we go.
I'm not used to this number of screws in a motherboard.
All good?
Who needs that many screws in a motherboard? Seriously.
Well, it was sold to a customer, so, you know. Right. So, for those of you playing along at home, this motherboard is a 990 FXA GD80. I have no idea how good this board actually is, because at the time when I was building these computers, I wasn't really paying attention to motherboards and stuff like that. It's kind of weird when I look back and realise I thought I knew a thing or two about computers 5 years ago, but actually I didn't really. Or at least I had very little knowledge about motherboards. So, yeah, kind of interesting. In
That's
any
the
case,
thing about, always learning and
do you want to kick that to one side?
stuff.
Yeah, yeah, indeed, always learning. Yeah, there's lots of people who now and then I get people who are just like, oh, I'm really late to the game. I don't know anything, and I feel like I'm very behind. I'm just like, trust me, dude. I wasn't that far behind, so to speak. All right, that can go in there. Good. Okay, right. I'm going to take this out back and shoot it. I mean, air compressor it. So
out of an air cannon
into the sun,
so it can go skydiving
out of the window.
Precisely.
Right, I'm going to go and air compressor this. I will be right back.
Absolutely. I shall provide entertainment in some form or another.
Feel the chats. Feel it.
Absolutely. We can come up with something. But no, I'm imagining that in a way that everyone in the chat's gonna have lots of good ideas of overclocking this, because I can't remember actually trying to overclock on FX in any serious fashion other than maybe pushing the RAM to like 1 step faster than XMP. I can't show you the camera. The camera is the camera. If I take the camera off of being the camera over there, there'll be no camera. Doesn't work like that. I mean, it could work like that, but we're not set up like that. Hold on, wait. I can do this, and then go, ha, camera. But then we're back to bench. Oh, I broke the bench cam. It's loose now. It's a bit limp.
You have to adjust that bit. There we go.
Okay, there we go.
Right.
Oh look, it's clean.
Yeah. All surface dust. As I say, that was just the compressor. That we haven't even detailed it. Right, I'll put it around that way. So, and yeah, I'm gonna take the back plate off of this graphics card so this can sit in the middle of the bench as well.
I'm also going to pinch this.
Oh yeah. Alright. Where is my paintbrush for dusting?
As opposed to my paintbrushes for painting. La, 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 la.
Right. And for those of you who are wondering, the graphics card was actually a GT 730.
Blistering Facebook performance.
Indeed. Once upon a time, you could buy these for £30.
Back in my day.
Weirdly, this one's only got an 8 times length PCB on it, which I thought was kind of interesting. Yeah. Obviously, like, I mean, as if it would use 16 lanes, but it's interesting they actually didn't even bother putting the full length thing on it. Sudden ASMR Graham. Oh yes, I stood next to the microphone for that, didn't I?
Hello.
Caradog cannot resist the temptation of being too close to the mic. Oh, I need. Hang on a sec.
I need a lunge. Whee. That'll do. I'm expecting horrific scenes. Oh, okay.
It's not bad.
I was hoping for good, expecting the worst, or whatever that. So there we go.
Right. So, well, to use the meta, we're supposed to put this down the bottom, aren't we?
Apparently. So apparently you're supposed to put it through the chipset or something.
Yeah. So that means that there's... Although, to be honest, again, on something like this, I don't know if any of the PCI Express slots go directly to the CPU. Yeah. No, actually, no idea.
Wait, what? Is that supposed to go that way?
It does go the other way around, yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's only because the notches are there.
Yes, I think I've been caught out by that one before as well.
Positively perplexing.
Right, I'll open that back door again now the compressor's stopped.
There we go. Good. Do you know where your little tester...
Oh, the doodad, yes.
Your tester doodad is.
I'm going to stand in front of the camera.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah, you found it. Yep. Front panel, yeah, over there. What? Excellent. Right. Plug in the HDMI first, and also you will need to plug a power cable in.
Yes.
Yep.
I thought we'd done that for some reason. Oh god, there's dust inside the HDMI port.
It's fine. Just shove it in there.
Well, no, it was more the fact of, oh my god, there's even dust inside the HDMI port. That is impressive. That started. That's good.
Good. The fan doesn't spin when it's super cut. Oh, there it goes. Yeah.
Well...
All right. Let's grab that, and I'm going to make my chat a bit bigger.
That is this keyboard. I hope.
Sold an FX8350 for £70. Damn.
Yes, that's that one. Good.
That will make me. That might actually make me sad if we kill this one, This is a suicide run. We're not going to run it into the ground, but if it dies, I don't actually care. Make of that what you will. So yes. Right, what was I going to do? Oh yes, I was going to switch to HDMI capture.
Absolutely. Ta-da!
Military class.
Ah yes, a military class. So it was made by the cheapest contractor?
Yeah. Oof.
I don't know what military class is supposed to infer. Oh. It's a very good heatsink design though for being easily cleaned.
Yeah. It is an attractive board, this. And oh, this one did. Oh, it does have it. I think that. Oh, yeah, they're turned off in BIOS at the moment. It has got phase activity LEDs on it, where it shows you the VRM phases turning on and off, which is. It's okay at stock because you do actually see them bouncing with load levels, which is cool. But if you do any kind of overclock whatsoever, it just sits on all phases all the time. So.
Yeah, kind of understandable.
Oh.
Didn't you have this reasonably heavily overclocked?
I can't remember what the stock is. I want to say that I had it at 4 gigahertz.
But also, good lord, this is slow.
Yeah. On the other hand, well, it is adjusting to a new build, so yeah.
That's kind of what I meant.
Yeah. Right. Dan and Shark, hello, how's it going? Doo-doo.
Did it actually too? Oh, good.
Oh yeah, we're just yeah, we're just
150% is fine because it means I can actually see stuff.
Yeah.
Other than the close for this window.
Will you just go to the very top right? Bang it into the corner because you know the red cross is going to be there.
I wasn't sure if the edge of the window was there or there.
Yeah.
So I went to close it on the preview windows cross. I was just like, huh, oh.
Understandable.
I bamboozled myself.
Caradog's going to be driving for our test, so what are you going to do? Are you going to Lin pack it or something?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. Cool.
Is that the unpacked one? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Right, let's do that. And then go... Oh, yes. I was about to say, was this 64-bit? But of course it was.
Have we got hardware info here as well?
We have... hardware.
Good.
Info. There you go. Do you wish to use this? I do! Amazingly. Yes.
Let's see. Right. I have an Asus P9X79, 32 gigs, all 8 sockets used. When I boot up, 24 gigs shows up. After a couple of reboots, you get 32. Not overclocked. Is the motherboard, RAM, CPU at fault?
Oh, that's X79, which has the hilariously broken memory controllers.
I was going to say...
All of the X series have had really weirdly squicky memory controllers.
I was going to say, as soon as you get into high-end desktop territory, they're stodgy as hell. BIOS update. BIOS update. Go to the latest BIOS that's not a beta BIOS. If that doesn't do it, try a beta BIOS. However, when you do try the beta BIOS, don't do the beta BIOS unless you have BIOS reprogramming equipment because you might brick it. So yeah, non-beta BIOSes you should be safe. Going to a newer one might help it out.
Right. No,
however, do not use a beta BIOS unless you have a programmer. And yeah, also just shuffle all the memory modules around, brush out the slots with a toothbrush, that kind of thing.
Where is set font? Oh, it's right there. I always miss the change font thing.
Oh, you're going to make it all big, yeah.
I was actually going to go a size smaller.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just because we're at 150% scaling
now.
Oh,
yes, yeah, that makes sense.
It doesn't need to be as big.
Right. Okay. I'm assuming that I have this at stock speeds at the moment. Because, yeah, I would not have given it to a client overclocked. I would have done a BIOS reset and run it as stock. So, I see one of our thermal sensors is at minus 111, so that's fun.
It's just getting excited.
Yes. Right, is it, are we on? Are we running? Yeah, okay, so 3.9 is our start point. Oh, 3. Yeah. So it looks like we can boost. Do these things have boost? I can't remember. But they don't boost per se, but you've got your single core. Oh yeah, they've got really early boosting. So they've got they've got single core clock speed, which in this case looks like it can go up to 3.9, and all core, which looks like it's 3.6. So we're going to be looking for all-core overclocks because single-core is cheating.
Wow.
And yeah, so it looks like on the cycles. Where's our load?
As it kind of shows it, because which part of it they didn't have? They didn't have floating point, or
yeah, I think it was it was shared FPUs between the pairs of cores.
Yeah.
This is AMD originally intended this to be an 8-core CPU, but it's 4 pairs of cores. Technically, it's a 4-core 8-thread. However, it's a very dim-witted 8-thread. So it's very, very rare that it can actually fire on all cylinders. That's the problem with the FX.
Fine.
So yeah, I don't think so, Postal. I mean, you could easily take it to 4 GHz and get that 4 GHz club, but stock speed, it was like 3.8, I think. Someone correct me on that.
Fine. I'm just saying what even info we're even getting out of it.
Set Windows to high performance power mode. Yeah, that's probably a good idea as well, just to make sure when, yeah.
Oh yes, because the CPU is at 15C. Can't help but feel that the temperature monitoring might be broken.
Are we on load? Oh yeah.
No, but yeah, 15C.
Yeah, when it comes on load, their CPU temperature will make sense. The FX thermal probes are really wonky. It's not hardware info; it's the probe.
Yeah.
So when it comes on load, the load temperature will be accurate. It's just the idle temperatures don't make any sense. It's like a weird logarithmic sensor or something bonkers like that. I don't know the reasoning behind it. Someone in the chat might know why it's like that, but that's completely normal for a FX. I'm going to move this heckin' light out my way because it's in my way.
Just do that, and then do that, and then do that. Ah! There you go. Let's see if the low temperatures actually go to something sensible. Apparently it's still at 30C.
I mean, this is a bonkers cooler, man. The cooler hasn't even warmed up yet. The cooler's cold. So, you know.
I'd have just expected it to have gone high, considering it thinks it's using 116 watts.
Yeah.
I'm just intrigued.
Yeah, it's probably, to be honest, it might take 15 or 20 minutes for heatsink to set in on this.
Yeah. Do you want to open a notepad?
Oh, that much being said as well, the onboard thing.
Wait, what?
I was going to say,
seriously?
Yeah, my postcode the postcode reader. Let me just switch cameras.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the postcode reader on these boards shows CPU temp once you're past post, and that's saying high 40s, looking for 50.
Yeah, that makes
more
sense.
Yeah, that sounds a bit more appropriate. So what does? Yeah, so hardware info. No, that's not giving us. Oh look, there's the motherboard is reporting it correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The CPU itself is reporting. Odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, yeah, the motherboard is reporting correctly, so that's fine. Keep the CPU open.
Wait, hold on.
Because the CPU is showing us package power, which is interesting to know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Apparently it's peaked at 116 watts.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Should we open a notepad on here? And if you write down that number there.
Yeah, notepad.
That will then just allow us to do something.
Yeah.
And an idea of what the very basic.
Right, what am I writing down? Stock.
Well, air quotes, stock, yeah.
Yeah.
However it was configured, because I'm going to reboot into the BIOS and then actually reset it.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Out of box then.
Yeah.
Out of box, what am I writing down?
You want the G flops, which is 71.2.
71.2.
To 737.
737.
There you go.
Cool. All right. So out of box, 71.27. So now we're going to go to, let's do a BIOS update on it as well and go to true stock baseline kind of thing, just so we can see if we actually improved it just by cleaning the damn thing out and all the rest of it. So I should have got the BIOS in advance, but we'll do a BIOS update while we're here. I'll just quickly grab out my laptop.
Do I need to press the FN key to get F2 on
Yes,
this?
you do, yes.
I was too slow then.
Right. Let's see. MSI 990 FXA GD80.
Indeed.
spec support BIOS. Right, are you into BIOS? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Let me know when you're into BIOS so we can just check, because the last release was 2015. So it's entirely possible that we're already on the latest.
Possibly. Entirely possible.
I'll download it anyway, just in preparation, but I have a suspicion it'll already be on the latest.
Yeah.
What's my BIOS updating flash drive?
You have 2 lanyards there.
Yeah, those are empty lanyards.
I can see none over there. I put the ones I found
that's
over
the one.
there.
Yep, that's the one I was looking for. I've got out a fresh drive recently.
Version E7640 AMS 13.5.
Oh, sorry. So 13.5. Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, we're not on the latest. We're one down from latest.
Interesting. Is the latest marked as a beta or something?
Nope.
Fair enough.
Unfortunately, it's downloaded an exe, and I'm like, can I get a actual bin file, please?
What happens if you run the exe? Does it just extract and give you a bin file?
Probably something heartbreaking like that. Yeah, I have a suspicion it will actually go. I think it's a win flash, and I'm like, oh, can we not?
If it is, I'm not that fast.
Yeah, I might be able to open it in 7-zip or something like that. Can only be executed on a pen. What?
Can only be executed on a Pentium?
It can only be executed on a pen drive. Let me just see if I can 7-zip this. No, I can't. Oh my god, this is horrendous. I hate everything. Are we doing a win flash? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know.
You know what? Sure, let's do it. Take it back into Windows. We're going to win flash. And we're going to make everyone go, oh, no, you can't do that.
Oh, dear.
It's gross.
It is. It is. It's very...
Yeah, extract the exe. Yeah, that can probably be done. I don't have a program set up to do that, though. There are programs out there like extract and things like that. I just don't have any of them set up. Better hope the OS is stable. Yeah, well, the worst case is we brick the motherboard and we reprogram the BIOS. So we have the technology.
Oh, look. It's giving me a bin file.
Did it actually?
Yeah, there's a bin file right there.
Why?
System will auto-reboot after doing the update. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Sure.
Yeah.
That is the least terrible Windows
I was
update
gonna
of the
say,
BIOS I've seen.
I'm not actually that angry because that's actually pretty slick as far as Win updates go. Like normally a Windows BIOS updater will usually come up with a really heckin' dodgy window with smileys and clip art on it being like buddy flash and stuff like that, and you're like, I'm not convinced, man.
Am I installing a rootkit?
Yes. Am I installing the entirety of Russia? You know.
I mean, it seems like a valid security method to just set your keyboard language to Russian.
Yeah. Is it 8 or 16? I'm not going to check at the moment. It's probably 8. It might be 16. I can't read it from here. It's Kingston HyperX, so the labels make no sense.
Yes.
They can't just write 2 times 8 GB or something like that. They have to write a product number on the side of it, which is not human readable. So, you know, we've got that going for us. Right, while that flashes, I'm going to the bathroom because I needed the bathroom literally as we hit go live. I'll be right back.
This is not needing explanation.
Sure.
It's fine. Don't flash your buddy. Oh boy. And then there's Psy. Oh really? The 2 most recent updates had to be done from Windows. Interesting. Can anyone give a reason as to why that would be the case? And you couldn't just flash it from a utility like all of the other ones. You'd have to like completely rewrite the partitions or something. Well, partitions. Why, Chris? Have you had one of these recently? Yes, indeed. Kingston RAM labels are somewhat terrible, and they do tend to not make sense. It is most annoying. Oh, interesting, Martin. That is somewhat of a good idea, though. If there is two BIOSes, yes, to then do it to the backup, verify that the backup has taken it properly, and then copy it to the new one from the old one, effectively. So yeah.
How are we doing?
There you go. It's going there. Apparently the two most recent updates for this board had to be done from Windows.
Ah.
There's a comment that possibly because it was writing to the backup BIOS first and then verifying that and then copying it across.
This doesn't have dual
Although
BIOS, does
that
it?
would indeed require it to have dual BIOS.
Yeah.
Which...
No, there's only a single BIOS chip down there.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Migrate around here again.
Whee! Oh, there you go. As Chris said, had to in the past couple of months, 100% 4 GHz base clock with worse temps on my better coolers at 1.3 plus volts.
Fair enough.
So it looks like possibly the board's doing something slightly funny. Possibly.
Yeah.
In whatever configuration it's in. But...
Yeah, it may just be suboptimal because as when I gave this to the client, I probably went into BIOS and just said restore factory defaults. So it might be that it's just like it probably could be having core enhance or just general stuff that is off by default that could be on to give the best or don't know. So yeah. Hard drive through town. I see you two are a man of culture. If anyone is wondering why it has two little fuzzy feet on top, it's because this didn't quite clear the case window on my Cooler Master. So those were there to stop the fins from scratching up the plastic case window.
It's a valid solution.
Yeah, it was a fairly elegant solution, all things considered.
Oh my god, I've just noticed that Zalman is written on each of the fins.
Really?
Oh, not written, is embossed, stamped.
Oh, yeah, it is. Huh. That's rad. I'm going to give a close-up of that while we're messing around, because that's cool.
Oh, there you go. Now we've got some fan speed going.
Logitech camera. I need the focus.
Also, may I have a HDMI? Please.
Oh, yeah, standby.
Oh no, it's dead, Jim.
Does look it, doesn't it?
I mean, it's flashing, so...
Yeah, it's rebooting again.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to carry on showing off the emboss things while it does things, because that's cool.
It has SFC for 30% higher power.
Something about film capacitors, I think.
Oh, there we go. You're saying about the lights.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Now set. So... Can we get the... It'll be upside down, but... There you go. There's the... Each fin has got Zalman stamped on it. This cooler was heckin' awesome, man. Let's go to there. And rotate. Transform. Rotate. Focus.
Focus. Engage crotch cam.
And also, now we have it as well. I'm now going to undo all of that.
Oh my god.
I know. I'm making this up as I go. See, normally when I'm making videos, I can be paused while I do this and then go, oh, actually, I want this camera angle. There's the CPU phase LEDs up there. So, what is it? Is it 8 phase? Yeah, well, I think it's 4-phase doubled because the phases come on in pairs. So to me, that suggests that it's 4-phase doubled. But yeah, when it actually settles down, you'll get that. This will just bounce up and down like a bar graph according to load. It actually has it for DRAM as well. However, the DRAM phases, it very rarely steps onto a second phase with that because you don't need 2 phases for your RAM. RAM doesn't use much power. You do not need multi-phase RAM.
I mean, it's kind of demonstrated though, just by how many you've got all the way down here.
Yeah, that's...
You have got a lot of actual componentry in there.
Yeah, oh, and also, because those have got SFC, that's probably what the SFC thinks they're banging on about. It's the type of inductors they're using. Although I'm not sure that fancy inductors
solid
are actually...
ferrite core?
Yeah.
Maybe?
That could be, yeah, solid ferrite core inductors. Yeah.
Slime-flavoured crisps.
I don't know if fancy inductors actually make any difference whatsoever. So, yeah. Right. That's a lot of power phases. I don't know.
I mean,
1,
it is
2,
a
3,
reasonable
4,
number.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 inductors there. So that is probably... So there's probably...
an SoC.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's probably... two VRMs per phase, 4 phases plus a 5th for the SoC, and that will give, and so five total phases, 2 inductors per phase, and that's your 10 inductors, something along those lines. My brain is asleep.
Did any of the FX CPUs have integrated graphics?
No, I don't think they did.
Oh, has this just gone into legacy mode? Or something?
Oh, yes, it probably has. Sort of. SATA, mate.
Is it F2? Oh.
It's delete, like any other computer.
Alright. Mine's F2.
Weirdo.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna... Oh. I'm just gonna... There we go. Although actually, it did actually look like it was booting then. Fine. We'll have a look into the BIOS and see what it's doing. FM2 for the APUs, yeah. Oh, SFC is super ferrite choke. So yeah. I'm not sure what makes a ferrite super, but apparently this has it.
Super ferrite chokes. Wait.
There was an AMD FX APU. Yeah, there were a bunch of the A series that were socket 9.3. Is this 9? No, it's AM3. There were some AM3 APUs.
939.
AMD were trying to push all the APUs onto the FM core. What's this?
Socket?
Yeah, FM2. Yeah, FM2 socket.
FM2
yeah.
socket?
Although I don't know why FM2 existed. I don't know why AMD made that socket. And I don't think anyone else knows why either. Love how minimal YouTube's latency can be. It's nothing compared to Twitch, but it's not horrendous.
Oh, there's a Windows 8 configuration option. Interesting.
I see you there, Chris. This is an AM3 Plus, yeah. FM2 is where they wanted the... Yeah, the question is, why did they want the APUs on a separate socket? Why not just have one socket for everything? Although that would have probably have introduced the same problem that they have with AM4 today, which is too many CPUs on one socket.
I've just remembered.
Oh god, yeah, there's a built-in browser. Please install Winky.
Please install our Winky driver.
Yeah. No idea. No idea.
Absolutely.
Oh well. Anyway, what are we doing at the moment? What are we looking for? Oh yeah, we want to set UEFI settings.
Oh, it appears
we're on UEFI, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it would have booted if we'd left it. Maybe it just had a bum boot.
Yeah, it's trying to boot from the Windows Doobry What's It Manager.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah,
okay.
Just let it go around again.
Let's go round again.
We don't have... We have no fan management at all. And man, this fan really belts it. I've got quite a breeze over here. Like, if you actually stick your hand behind that, it's just like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, it's gone into automatic repair.
Oh.
You broke it.
I didn't break it.
You turned it off whilst it was turning on.
Maybe. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let it go around again, and we'll and it'll get it. Yeah.
Let's go round again.
We're not going to turn back the hand to time. We just want to go around again. How are we doing for time here?
Now.
Oh god, we're 50 minutes into the stream and we haven't even started overclocking. I think we should get one more baseline then. Do you reckon we should go straight to the freezer?
Can do.
Yeah. Let's put in like a token gesture, like a 4 point. No, once we get started, we'll get started quickly, I think.
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
not like because
we're just trying to get the thing to boot at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. We're not going to be doing like hour-long stress tests at frequencies.
There you go.
Yeah, just restart.
Restart.
Yeah. Once we actually get to the overclocking, we're going to be running for 10 minutes. We're going to run it for like 5 minutes and then be like, there we go, there's a number, next frequency kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when we get going, it will happen fast, and then we'll get the toys out. So yeah, could have installed a clean OS in this time. Yeah, you're probably right, to be honest.
Well, I doubt it. Not on this.
Maybe. Let's see. Far better power efficiency, 30% better. Yeah, fair enough.
Interesting.
It's probably just, I mean, inductors don't produce a lot of heat, but technically they will heat up because it's a coil of wire that has some resistance.
Inaccessible boot device.
Yeah, that's the SATA controller's in the wrong mode or something like that. It must have defaulted to IDE. Which would be really heckin' dumb for a board even of this age, but it sounds like it's in IDE mode. So yeah.
What's it in? Boot?
You're going to want to go to advanced peripherals, integrated peripherals. It won't be.
There's
integrated
peripherals.
That's right. Yeah. SATA mode, IDE mode. Yeah, it's IDE by default. Why?
Wait, why can't
like when this motherboard was new, AHCI was standard.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Well, there's our problem. There we go. We're done. Save and quit.
Save configuration. There we go.
Yeah.
That's awful. A 1 gig BIOS.
I don't think anything has a 1 gig BIOS yet.
I don't think anything.
No.
I think the largest is still the 32 megabit ones on some of the MSI.
Yeah.
Water Maxes and stuff, and Tomahawk Maxes and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, 256 megabits, which is 32 megabytes.
Sorry, 32 megabyte. Yeah, 32 megabit. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that was featured in the latest video that took hecking ages to flash.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my experience with a couple of those as well. They take forever. By comparison, I was next week's video is a laptop where I was doing BIOS flashing on it. Spoilers. And again, on that one, I programmed the BIOS and it just went done. And I'm just like, thank you. Didn't even have to pause the recording, you know, because everything worked in IDE mode, albeit slower. Yeah, I guess.
Except for this, that doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, this board, Windows 7 was standard when this board came out. So, and Windows 7 supported AHCI out the box.
But didn't XP support it out
No.
the box?
XP, you had to load your AHCI drivers from a heckin' floppy drive.
I thought that was the issue we ran into.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, that was the ACPI, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was ACPI, but also we did also have to run in IDE mode. But when we were doing the XP build, I was like, run it in IDE. I really don't care about AHCI on this. You know, because we were building to run XP games, it was just like, this is the least of our problems. I'm just going to reinitialize the capture card. No? Are we black screen? I think we're black screen. Oh, come on, dude.
What?
Did anyone see how far it got before we went to this black screen? I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, you shush, Martin Barker. I will hit the reset.
Oh, Oh, it flashed on the extra RAM.
Ugh. 36. I think we're actually no post. I think that's code 36. I have no idea what code 36 is.
Wee woo, wee woo. Oh, good.
Oh my days. We haven't even started overclocking. We're just trying to get baseline. We were supposed to be done with. We were supposed to be past this section in like the first 15 minutes of the stream. I have to run it in IDE mode. Ugh, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. So yeah, because that's not going to affect our benchmarks, is it? Because that's only just storage performance, which doesn't matter. So yeah, let's BIOS reset. Yeah, let's do that. Le bench cam.
LED is flashing.
It is. I don't know why the power LED is flashing. That might just be because weirdness. Right. I will JBat one. Clear CMOS. Oh, we've actually got a clear BIOS on the back. Mental note.
It's very annoying when your clear CMOS on the back is right next to the power button that's on the back.
Yes.
Which I had with one of my boards. I was like, who and why? Who and why?
Right, should be good. Hit it. Yeah, there we go. It's posting now. Whoop. That was a bit weird. Right, when USB 3 was a feature. Oh yeah, for pretty much all of the default values. Cool. Let's try one more time. F1 to run setup. And let's just try again. Go into setup, AHCI, save and quit. Where was I? Yeah, all of the AMD FX boards had discrete USB 3 with like as media USB 3 controls or something similar to that, because none of the AMD FX chipsets had onboard USB 3. And
they
again,
also didn't have PCIe 3.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why, again, the platform sucks, just because the chipsets don't have anything on board, so everything is discrete, which means you need separate drivers for everything, and you can't boot from USB 3 and bollocks like that. And you know, like all of your SATA 3 controllers are discrete instead of being built in, and just whereas on an Intel board, everything's on the chipset, so everything just works.
Yeah, the chipset drivers covered basically everything, so it was fine.
It says 8150. Oh, is this an 8150? That makes me very sad. I thought this was an 8350.
I'd possibly explain why it's slightly different to what you were thinking.
Yes. Oh, you know what? I think you might be right. I thought it was an 8350 I had.
One.
Oh, well. It's an 8150 then. I clickbaited you. You guys fell for my trap. So... This device is requesting full error. Fine. Right, okay, are we running? Are we on?
Indeed.
Good. Excellent.
Okay.
CPU frequency 4.1. All right. Do you want to get up hardware info and we'll just see what we're boosting to? Because it looks like we're getting better clocks now. I don't know what was going on. I must have had I reckon I had a bum CPU config on it before. It didn't need to go fast, so... I mean, maybe I put it on some really safe settings because I don't recall. Who knows? It looks like we're still stuck at 3.6 all core.
Suddenly a graph. Goodbye.
It's 3.9.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it could do 4.1, but we're getting 3.9 all core. There you go. There's a 4.2 boost there on one of the cores.
But yeah.
Okay. However, interestingly, it came in at a lower speed. Is it worth running that one more time? Because it didn't take long. Because we opened hardware info halfway through it.
One.
Because that's very interesting that it came in at a lower score.
One.
3.6 would be normal for an 8150. There we go. That's why there's confusion then. Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah. I had it in my head it was an 8350, but no, it's an 8150.
Also, the CPU frequency it reports in the top left is just whatever it is at that second it starts.
Interesting. Yeah.
Effectively.
Yeah. All right. Good. Okay, we'll cycle this one more time. Then what we'll do, we'll drop into BIOS then, and we'll go into full manual settings and like go for a 4 gigahertz all core.
Yeah.
4 gigahertz all core. And what voltage are we at? 1.28. Yeah. So let's go all core 4 gigahertz 1.3 volts as a start point.
Yeah.
And then we'll start building from there because like this can definitely.
There you go. Look at that now, 72.7.
Yeah, there we go. I've definitely had this 4 gigahertz all core. It can absolutely do that. So we'll start there and then we'll start building up.
Yeah, I would have guessed it will be able to get 5 gigahertz out of it.
Yeah, what was the score again? Sorry.
Oh, whoops.
Have you closed it?
I thought you wrote that.
I did not write it down. Oh.
727122.
727122. Right. Stock. 727122.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
So within error.
Yeah, within margin of error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was only doing single runs on these ones. I'll do 3 runs and then it'll average them on the next ones.
Yeah.
Mash delete. Delete, 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 delete.
Entering setup.
There we go. Settings. No, not settings. Overclocking settings. Oh, interesting. The FSB
61 is where it throttles. Really? That low?
Interesting. The FSB is 200. I thought it was
Isn't
100.
It's double pumped.
Is it a double pumped one?
Yeah, it's double pumped because don't forget they were double pumping back in the day because Intel were quad pumping at one point, weren't they?
Ooh.
Yes. I know at some point Intel were running 400 megahertz FSB. Obviously, yeah.
Therefore, I need to set this to 20, not 40. Right?
What are you setting? Multiply. No.
Yeah, because then that gives MB frequency of 4 gigahertz.
Oh yes, you're correct. Yeah, because it's double pumping. Yeah.
What does the core control do?
Yeah, 4 gigahertz, 1.4. We don't need 1.4 yet. 1.3 will do it.
Oh, there is an all AMD turbo core technology. Interesting. Max turbo core ratio.
Yeah, we want to turn off turbo because we're going to base all core. We're going to base frequency all core overclock.
So should we just go AMD turbo Dubry?
Yeah, just disable turbo. Yeah,
cool.
Because turbo will mess with what we're doing.
That's fine. That's all set. That's all set. There's the voltage. What did we want?
I think 1.3.
Correct.
Yeah, because stock it was doing like 1.27. So I reckon 1.3 might be optimistic. It might need to be 1.35. Let's start at 1.3 and just see how it responds to that.
I dislike that I can't just type a number in.
Yeah, because if we manage 1.3, then that obviously tells us that this thing is really comfortable at low voltage. Whereas if it can't do 1.3, then we immediately know that it's going to get thirsty. So, do I have a fire extinguisher nearby? We do, but we're not going to catch fire though. Don't worry.
CPU is NB. NB isn't Northbridge, is it?
Yeah, this has got a Northbridge, I think. Yeah, it has. It's got something anyway.
So do I need to set the CPU NB voltage?
I don't think so. I think we'll leave those auto for now.
What voltage do we got? PL, DDR, DRAM, DDR,
everything else we should be able to leave on auto.
Fine.
We might need to start setting some of this stuff when we get up to the top end. But at our baseline, I don't think we need to change any of it.
It's always fun when you go save and exit and it just goes.
Yeah.
And like, great.
That sounded healthy, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Was that the Northbridge ratio? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that wasn't actually the CPU ratio.
Oh, did you change the Northbridge ratio?
Yeah.
So we're not posting then. Oh, okay, it did post. Yeah. I wasn't actually looking because I was reading chat.
CPU ratio, yeah. I read one and then selected the one below.
All right.
Good job. Why can't I just type in numbers?
Caradog Brody, everyone.
Right. If I do that, that then sets that. If I then just go...
So, yeah, Northbridge ratio. I guess we automatic that. And just let it settle where it wants to be. Yeah.
Right. Change that. And where's the voltage option? CPU voltage, yes. Yes. Good.
Good.
Clonk.
Right, it's coming up. All right, so we should start getting some numbers now. It's an e-waste rodeo. It hopefully.
Or something.
Right, make your predictions, everyone. Previous number was 72. 72 to beat.
Will it be stable?
I was going to say, the option is going to be a number greater than 72, a number less than 72, or crash. How far do you think you get your Q6600? Don't know. Chris, have you done anything with those?
I got that to 4 gigahertz.
Yeah.
I had mine at 4 gig. I stopped at 4.1 because I was idling at 99C. I was just like, no, we are done now. We are not pushing this hard.
Yeah, why are we calling this e-waste? Well, I mean, you're not wrong. Everything is relative. Certainly depends.
It's certainly not something someone should be buying new.
Yeah, wouldn't be buying this. I mean, this CPU is 2013, maybe 20. I think it's 2013. This CPU is 8 or 9 years old. It ain't modern, you know. But obviously, I guess it kind of just depends. Yeah, take any temperatures you see, take them with a pinch of salt, because some of these thermal probes are giving some really funky readings.
Oh yeah, no, I was saying about my Q6600. I idled.
Oh, I see.
At 99C.
Yes, I would not recommend that. So
do not.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we need to check how much RAM we've got as well at some point and answer that question.
I think it was 8 gigs.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
There you go. First run is
77.
77.2.
All right, we're making progress.
Yeah, I want to see what the package power is at now.
Yeah. And yeah, so we've got a solid 4 gigahertz all core now. And where has the CPU power gone? There it is. Yeah, 104.
It's gone down.
Yeah,
like
we're actually coming in under at the moment.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so we're actually running faster and more efficiently on this clock, which is very interesting. I kind of assumed that as soon as we started overclocking, we'd be using more power.
Yeah, there you go. So CPU is reporting 46C.
Yeah, although what's worth noting is that in this condition, it will not idle very well, because I remember when I was running this as a daily, I was very torn between whether I wanted to run it with the overclock or not. Because the overclock I was running, it was only like 4.1, 4.2. It wasn't massive, but because I was running an all-core overclock, it would be idling at like 60 watts kind of thing, whereas at stock speeds, the idle would drop down to like 30 or 40 watts or something like that. So when this finishes in a minute, we'll see what the CPU power drops down to at idle, because it'll probably be high. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't like running an overclock on a daily driver, because when I'm just sitting there bumming around on the internet, I'm basically on load. And that was the problem, is your computer is using 200 or 300 watts just sitting on the desktop because you're on an all-core overclock. Whereas, again, the great thing about floating boost in modern CPUs is your all-core boost, you're now looking for boost clocks, not stock clocks kind of thing.
What?
What do we get?
So the first run passed, the second pass failed.
Oh, yeah.
The third pass passed.
Interesting. So we're possibly not 100% stable then.
That's bizarre.
Yeah. And once again, notice we're no longer on load and we're still using 104 watts.
Apparently.
Yeah, so confirmed we're not idling. I'm gonna grab my power meter, so the next time we turn this off, we can plug in the power meter and see what it's drawing from the wall. Because that'd be cool.
Oh yes, number of CPUs 8, numbers of cores 8, number of threads 4. The other thing that could be interesting, haven't you got a thermal couple?
Yes.
And a meter that can thermal and
Yep. I mean,
what the hell is the yellow thing called?
Multimeter.
Multimeter.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right, where are we at? Are you just running it again?
I'm rerunning it again because if we get 3 passes this time, I'll be like,
that's good enough.
Sure,
yeah.
whatever.
We're not looking for stability. We're just looking for numbers.
I'm looking for 3 passes in a run.
Yeah.
Basically, and that's what I'll call sufficiently stable.
Yeah. And again, for everyone, because there's going to be someone out there that's just like, if it can't run Ada 64 overnight, it's not stable. It's just like, we don't care about stability. This is a suicide run. So yeah.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, there you go. It's clearly not actually particularly stable.
Yeah.
Fine.
I mean, it's not locking up though, so we're close. Like, if we ran like 1.32
Where the hell's
volts.
your brake button?
I don't think we have one on this. I don't think this keyboard has a brake.
Well, okay then.
So you're going to have to use the mouse like some kind of poor person.
Sure.
Can you not control C it?
No. I don't think so. You can just force close the window, yes.
Yeah. Did Control C not work?
No, Control C closes the window.
Oh, I see.
I wanted to stop the limp.
Ah, yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That was all.
Yeah.
I think it's got 8 gigs of RAM.
Yeah. Check the RAM and then
it popped up within the BIOS.
So what were we getting? About we were 77 unstable. I'm calling that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, 8 gigs.
Cool. Okay. So hold up a moment. So we're going 4.0. 1.3
something.
1.3 02 I think it was, and that was 77 unstable.
Yeah.
So we weren't crashing, but it wasn't stable. So let's go to 4.2 at 1.35.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to try and stabilize that because I want to get onto the freezer.
Yeah.
So let's start pushing.
Yeah, I want to find one that is pushed up a bit and is unstable.
Yeah.
And then see if just putting the freezer on it makes it stable.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the goal. This is why we started on air, because I want to see how far we get on air and then see how much further we can get on the freezer. Can you shut it down quickly so I can plug in the power meter?
I will do once I have changed that.
Yeah.
And 1.355. F10. Save. There you go.
This bundle's still worth 125 to 150. Why? It's bad. This CPU is terrible.
Okay. You want to swap that?
Yeah. Again, I daily drove this thing, man. This CPU ain't fast. Gaming performance on it is horrendous. Like, when I switched from this CPU to a 4th gen i7, yeah, from this CPU to a 4th gen i7,
you doubled your number of actual threads.
Yeah, the gaming improvement on the same graphics card was considerable. You know, like 20 frames a second minimum in most games. It was night and day different. But yeah. I mean, I suppose, yeah, it would still be a half-decent gaming PC, but yeah, that's just it. There's better things out there. That's the thing. There's better things.
It's posted in loaded Windows. That's a good start.
Yeah, it was straight in.
There you go. So, if we wait until the light stops flashing.
What light are you looking at? Oh, wait until that. Yeah, hard drive light, yeah. So, what's this? 1.35?
Yes.
Yeah, 1.3 volt. Cool. Right, so we're currently pulling 114 at the wall. So let's see what how much of that is the CPU, because that's That's lower than I expected.
Oh,
That would suggest that the rest of the platform actually uses very little power.
Package stream. C.
1.355 says Mr. Castle. Sorry, I'm not going to try your first name. I've updated my.
Yes. Sure.
Right.
1.
Hardware info. Open that first before we run it, otherwise it skews the number.
Indeed.
We should probably shortcut these to the desktop as well.
There we go.
Right. Martin Barker reckons 78 and unstable again. I think we're going to get. I think we're going to hit 80 for this one.
I can possibly just pin that. Okay.
Right. Let's see. What's package power? Oh, 4.4. Fair enough. Just confirm. You did put in 4.4, didn't you?
Yeah, because it's a 200. I forgot it was a 200.
That's
so
right.
So I moved it up a ratio of 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we're going for 4.4 then.
This is going to be wonderfully unstable.
Probably. Package power?
Okay. It's apparently doing it. There
goes. Is it just locked up? Yeah, we crashed.
Yeah.
Okay, reset.
We'll change that to 4.2.
Yeah, let's pull back to 4.2. Because again, I'm still just trying to gauge whether... I'm still trying to gauge how much voltage we need in this. Because if 4.2, 1.35 is stable, then that shows us... Because it looks like we're about at the right...
Oh, these are all
it looks like we've got the voltage about right.
So I need to change that from 22 to 21.
Apparently you can page up, page down these, although that's actually quite difficult to do on that keyboard as well.
1.355, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. F10.
Clonk!
Nowhere near enough power for them speeds. Well, that's just it. 4 gigahertz, 1.3, we weren't locking up, which means we were really close to stable.
Yes.
You know, I mean, obviously it probably wouldn't have run overnight, but again, that's not what we're after here. You know, I'd wager that 1.32 would have had us stable at 4 gigahertz. So 1.355 at 4.2, I think is probably going to be about right.
Because it locked
the
up,
4.4, yeah.
Because it locked up, it didn't save that I pinned stuff.
No! Now you have to do it all over again.
So if I get rid of that, then go donk. Oh, come back here.
Have you checked the chat?
Oh, well, I could just shortcut these to the startup folder. That's what I should have done. If we're being sensible about this. 1, 1, 3. Get in.
And we're off. Package power. Still 104.
Supposedly.
Yeah, well, reported, yeah. And we're at...
245.
Yes.
Is it actually 245?
Yes. It's 245 at the wall. So, okay, so the CPU package power, that's talking Febreze. That's bollocks. We can completely ignore that number. Completely ignore that number.
That is...
It's 245 at the wall right now. So, yeah. Whoa. Okay.
That doesn't even make sense from, like, the core utilization.
I don't know where it's getting that number from then. Yeah.
Oh, well, that failed as well.
Yeah. Okay. Have we locked up?
No.
Oh, no. I can still see the counter going in the bottom right. Yeah.
But yeah, that failed.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay. That's not even giving a number. Although, oh yeah, no, it is. Yeah. Oh, 81.9. So I was about right with the numbers we were getting.
Is this that's not got a 3600 in it? Wait, is the 3600 the AMD Ryzen 3600, is that in a working PC?
It's in the P200. We can get to it fairly easily. What do you want?
I didn't want to take it out. I just wanted to run this on the 3600.
To get a comparison.
Just to show it's a case of it's like, you can do all this effort, or you can get 2,000... You can get like 200 gigaflops for a 3600.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. While you...
are both failing.
Yeah.
So we are going to
1
reboot.
point...
I'm going to just go up.
1.75 or go straight to 1.4?
I will... No, I'll just step it up like 2 steps.
Yeah. I'm going to call that 81 unstable.
Yeah.
I'm going to call that very unstable. Because we didn't even get a pass there. That was all fails.
Yeah.
The 77 unstable, that was 2 passes and a fail. So that was like, oh, we're nearly there, but not quite.
Yeah. So we want voltage.
Yeah.
We want to go...
I tell you what I will do, though, is I'll...
I'm going to go to...
Can you...
1.3865.
When you get to Windows, can you stick Limpacket Stream on this flash drive? And what I'll do, I'll plug it... This is an i5-8600 behind us. So, again, I'll run it up on that just to get another comparison with a
more modern.
Yeah, more modern.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've got the SSD from the P200, so that's not in a booting state at the moment.
Yeah. Oh god, you could make it massively unfair and just do the 5800X.
Yeah.
So it's the same. It's the same number of cores.
Oh god. My FX8 has the same number of cores as a 5800X. It's true, but he shouldn't say it, you know.
Oh dear.
It's an 8600K.
Ugh.
In this one.
This is not an 8600K.
Yeah. This is the platform that used to be in my home rig before I switched over to AMD at home.
There you go.
Have you just put it on the thing?
I have.
Cool.
It is done.
I'm not even going to safely eject it.
Rebel. Oh, interesting. Can you not pin hardware? Hardware info. That's what it's called. Right, let's try that again.
It's not going to matter if I run this off the flash drive, is it?
No.
Yeah. Right, what do I do? Benchmark?
Yeah, so 1, 1, 3, enter, enter.
3, enter, enter. Alright, it's off. I think this... I think that 8600K is at stock.
Enter.
Yeah,
enter.
no, I won't have an overclock on this because it's not... Yeah, because it's a testing rig. It's got a lot of clock in it. That CPU, I've dailied that CPU at 4.7, and I've hit 4.9. It's got 5 gigahertz in it, but it needs like 1.4 volts to get there, and it's just like it can do 5 gigahertz, but it doesn't want to be at 5 gigahertz.
So what you're saying is we really need to put the freezer on that.
Yeah.
So you can get like 5.1 out of it. That's horrifying. Look at the gigaflops.
Oh god. Yeah. So the 8600K is running first pass at 159, second pass at 161. So it's more than double the theoretical performance.
It's certainly double stock.
Yeah.
It's over double stock.
And 160 on the third pass. So the average was 160 on a stock 8600K.
That's horrifying.
Which is an 8th gen i5.
I mean, it's significantly newer.
Yeah, a mid-range 2019 CPU. Yeah. I mean, yeah, okay, there's a lot of years gap. But again, this is what I mean by this isn't a good CPU. So for the people that are just like, I'd love to have that. No. Go and buy a 3600. It will obliterate this. Yeah. It will destroy in all ways it's possible to be destroyed.
We've had 2 stable passes in a row.
Nice.
That's
solid 81.
Start.
Yeah.
God. Also just the times though.
5950X is 876. Is it actually?
878.
Does it actually do that?
That sounds about right.
I suppose it could do, yeah.
That sounds about right.
Because this thing is only 4 cores, so yeah.
And the 3600 was 260 something.
Yeah.
When I was fiddling with it.
God, that's a monster.
That's crazy.
I've seen that video, David Hossborough. Yeah. Of course, yeah, the 8600 is a 6 core. It was the first i5 with 6 cores, yeah.
Oh,
right.
The final one was a fail.
What voltage are we at now?
I can't remember.
Are we 4.2 or 4.4?
This is 4.2.
4.2.
That voltage is wrong.
Did anyone see what voltage we were at?
I don't know. I'll tell you in a second.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you're going to take it around anyway. If we're not at
1.3, it's something like 1.38 something.
Yeah, go to 1.4.
Yeah.
1.38, I'll put in. And was that 81.56?
5991.
0.56. I'll call that unstable because it failed.
No, 815991.
Oh, 815991.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
There. Yeah, because we're now using the average ones.
Yeah.
Before we weren't.
Yeah.
So we're just doing single runs. There you go. I want to get a triple stable at this, and then we'll have a voltage.
Yeah. The 5800X is a bit of a mad lad CPU. I own 2. I've got one at home, and I've got one in one of my demo PCs here. It's a CPU that can go crazy fast, but it's also obnoxiously difficult to cool. But also, it's suspiciously cheap. You can constantly find it at like £300 or less, which for the amount of horsepower it's got in it is bonkers. But it's all, as I say, it's an internal furnace, so it's a bit of an animal. I mean, it's not that you need a big cooler on it. Is basically what I'm saying. You need a big water cooler to get the most out of it. But also, like, you can run a 5800. I'm running a 5800X. In the demo PC here, it's got a big ass water cooler on it, and it will do 4.8 gigahertz all core, and that's not even the most that it's got to give. You can probably get 5 gigahertz all core, and that's 16 cores. Or no, sorry, 8
cores. 8 cores, 16 threads.
8 cores, 16 thread, yeah. So yeah, and as I say, that's still a wrecking machine for general use.
The voltage is 3865.
3865. Yeah, so 3865. Yeah, go to 4 volt, 1.4.
And then it'll be 475. 4075.
Okay. 4075.
Yeah.
4.2. I'm hoping we can get stable from here, because once we've got this stable, I think we'll then just start putting in big numbers.
Yeah.
I think the next thing we'll do is like 4.4, 1.45, and literally just go up by 50 millivolts. Yeah.
Yeah. Bomb.
You see, you've got a new sponsor. No, I've just got an NVIDIA t-shirt. Not sponsored. Although, if you want to call me, you're more than welcome to NVIDIA. I'd take your money.
One.
I need a GTX 480, and then we've got a Space Heater. Yeah.
113. Oh, it's gone white.
I thought that it had done that when you clicked start then. I'm like, that doesn't look healthy.
Oh, hello. Continue. Thank you.
Raid Shady Legions.
Oh, I hate it when my lesions are so large they have their own shadows.
Are we on load? Oh, not yet. Yeah.
Possibly. We should be.
There it goes, yeah. I was going to say, we were down at 200 at the wall. 275.
There we go.
We're now at 275 watts at the wall.
How hot's the motherboard think it is?
Graham, I posted a question on one of your VODs about transferring files. I haven't, it's Yiddy, because the method I use is not very accessible. There's just so many caveats as to what software to use and when. It's difficult to make a coherent video about it. So yeah. I don't have a straight answer to that.
There are options.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you were going to a new computer, I would just back up your stuff and do a clean install of Windows.
Selectively copy things.
Yeah, and selectively copy your stuff back. Ultimately, that's going to be a better solution. We're going to get one of the subscribers to join us on live. Not specifically. Anytime I have anytime we have guests on the show, it's generally going to be because there's people that we know IRL. Lisa Sugan, hello. Thanks for the advice last Saturday about the B450 and the Ryzen 5600X. Scan did a BIOS update for you, and it's all good. Nice.
Excellent.
I remember something about that. Oh yeah, did you call or were you in chat? I can't remember now. I remember that being a thing though. Yep.
I think it broke.
Have we crashed? Oh, we haven't crashed. But it's not doing anything, is it?
No.
Oh yeah, we're off load. We're at like 150 watts, which is off load.
Oh, there you go. Oh, but it did a pass.
Huh. I'll be very impressed if it gets through all three.
What are you doing?
200. There we go. Now it's coming up. 270. 275. Yeah. I'll be astonished if we get 3 passes here. Called you up. That's right. Yep. Yep. Good. I'm glad that went well, Leon. Hoping you don't have to enter in all your passwords for programs installed. You will, unfortunately. Be prepared to do that. You should be prepared to do that at any given time. I know it's an inconvenience and a ball ache, but if you get on with it, you'll get it done. You know, that's 2 passes. Okay, yeah. I mean, even though we had a bit of a rough start there, if we get 3 passes, that's good enough for me because we're not looking for overnight stability here.
No, absolutely.
But if we've got this stable, that means we've figured out what kind of voltages this CPU needs. And the answer to that is more than I expected. And ironically, it looks like Postal was actually bang on the mark when he said you're going to need 1.4. Because looking like at the moment we were unstable at 4 gigahertz 1.3. So yeah, we absolutely needed 1.4 volts to start getting anywhere with this.
Yeah, there you go. 3 stable passes.
There we go. Okay, what was the score?
Average 80.9.
Oh. 80.9628. Okay.
Yeah, because we had a 78 first run, an 82 second run, and an 81 first.
Yeah. Oh, that's just short of 81. So that's within margin of error of the previous attempts. So yeah, stable. Cool. All right. 4.4, 1.45. Let's go.
Yeah.
We need to actually check what the CPU temp goes to on the next run as well, just so we can. I mean, we're
according to the motherboard and according to hardware info, it was only at something like 40 something.
Yeah, I think this air cooler is still holding up. Although because we're going past 1.4 volts now, which is going into the danger zone. Yeah, we're very much Kenny Loggins in now. And I think this is the point where our temperatures are going to start soaring. So, does it not go any higher than that? Oh, balls! Is there an advanced mode? Oh, that's going to make me real sad if this tops out at 1.44.
Looks like it.
Oh no!
Rip.
I'm sure this had an advanced mode all the way up to the top.
If I just disable that, does that give me anything else? No.
Scroll all the way to the top a sec.
That is the very top.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh no. Oh balls! If 1.45 is actually our ceiling, then
we might have to, because this is standard mode. There is an OC mode as well. So
okay. That might give us more,
which we will check out on the next one, because this is enough for this one, isn't it? Yeah, 4495. Is basically 1.5.
Also, Dutch Jan. Yeah, I was wrong. I thought it was an 8350. It was an 8150. I was wrong. I misremembered. We didn't find out until we started, and it said 8150. And we were like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I can actually change the title. Actually, I might. Whatever. I can't be bothered at this point. I might break the stream.
Sorry. You can change it after.
Yeah. We'll have a look at OC Genie 2 in a minute. I really hope that's got higher levels in it. Otherwise, we're not going to get as far as the freezer, because the air cooler is going to get us up to 1.45.
Yeah. Have you got oh yeah, just like Captain tape or something to stick that on the back of the socket?
Oh yes. Yes.
So I guess that's going to be a best mounting point for it.
Yeah, we'll do that on the next reboot. Right. So we 4.4 now.
That should be, yeah, 1.4 of
1.44995
or whatever it is.
Yeah, it was 1.449.
Yeah, it still thinks it's 1.275.
Yeah, there's something squicky about the power reporting on this board.
1, 1, 3, go.
Off we go! And we are 220 at the wall at the moment. 300.
180.
Yeah. Looking for 305, but not quite. Yeah, about 300 rounding. Apparently not, Chris. We tried that.
Or at least I certainly tried it at least once with trying to type in auto and 1 point something, and it didn't go.
Overclocking above spec is a good way to shorten the life of your CPUs. It's a good thing this CPU is like 8 years old. We've got to fail. Boo.
Oh well.
If we can get like one pass out of that.
Apparently 10 years old, says Chris.
Oh, there you go then.
Good lord. Hello, 2011.
I don't understand how the CPU is still at apparently 52 degrees while it's pulling 300 watts. Like, I know this CPU cooler was baller, but I mean, there's some heat coming off of that, but like, it's not knocking my socks off. Also, neither's that fail.
Yeah. Oh well.
Max for the motherboard is 1.5. Overclock is shunt modded it. I didn't think we'd need to go this high this early on.
Oh well.
2011. There we go. That makes me very sad, because we might be at game over. If we can't go higher on the voltage, then we're done.
Yeah.
Let's have a look in OC Genie 2, just in case there are some more options there, but may have missed parts of the stream, but have we enabled LLC? I don't think we have, unless it's on by default.
No. But, yeah. So that was an 85.7, but it was 3 fails.
Yeah. Okay. Let's check in BIOS just to see. We'll check for some load line calibration in case that will get us out of this. And we'll check if OC Genie 2 gives us any more options. Otherwise, yeah, we're going to have to find something else to play with because it looks like this board won't actually give us what we need.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Like most of the time on motherboards, you'll always have a sensible bit, and then there's usually like an advanced mode or an like I'll quote unquote call it an LN2 mode, which is just you can dial in whatever you want if you're nuts kind of thing. But that's automatic. Yeah, I thought that might be the case. Yeah, that doesn't actually help us, does it?
No.
Yeah. No, we're literally just 100% certain you can't page down on that or anything like that to go further than the list. FN and down arrow.
Yeah,
No.
it just jumps you to the top and bottom.
Yeah.
It's on the screen.
Balls. Yeah, I think we're brown bread. All right. I don't know if this will have LLC. I think it's too old. Low line calibration's fairly new, isn't it? Broadly speaking.
Well, I can't see any options.
Yeah, I think LLC didn't come in until I think that didn't come in until either Ryzen for AMD or Skylake for Intel, maybe. Change CPU. Yeah, I think we're going to have to switch out to something else if we want to do anything else. I mean, we could see if we can get the 8600K to 5.2.
Yeah, I should be able to.
Like,
that won't be too difficult.
Yeah.
No, I can't see anything else.
Yeah, because I'm really we didn't even get off the air cooler. We haven't even looked at the freezer yet, and I'm like, oh man, I was really excited to we were going to show off the freezer and everything, and we haven't even got that far. Yeah, well, apparently people are getting some entertainment. Yeah. Okay. Are we swapping out because without putting in more voltage, we're not going to go any faster, are we?
I think the one thing... there we go. That's how you load optimize defaults. But the one thing that would be interesting to do, take that off of there, same voltage at 4.4, and see if just making it minus 40 makes it stable. Because it being a lower temperature will mean it needs less volts.
True, yeah.
So it should, in theory, make it stable.
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
So it'll be interesting to see.
We'll put the freezer on it. Yeah, well, also, I mean, if that did work, then that would be extremely enlightening to demonstrate what the effects of sub-ambient cooling actually are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because sub-ambient cooling is fantasy cooling that makes the CPU do weird things. It's not just more cooling, it's sub-zero, which does weird things to silicon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, let's stick the freezer on it, and if that doesn't work, I vote we have a quick play with the 8600K. I'm not suicide running on the 8600K, because that's actually a good computer, but we will...
Depends what voltage you can get to on the board.
Yeah,
for that.
Yeah, it's a mid-range board. I mean, it's probably going to give us more options, but then also, I don't think it will need as many volts to do mad lad things. So yeah.
That's a shame. We shall see.
Yep. All right. Let's do it. Right. Okay. If you start unpacking this, I'll go and grab
Have you got the little Allen key jobby for these?
Not. I don't think I have the correct one. So.
Or a Torx.
Yeah, I've got a thing. Yep. Right. Let's switch cams. Oh man, I hope we can get some good results because I'll be really disappointed if we don't actually get anything out of this. Because we're coming in and we've got big cooling equipment on hand, I thought we were going to get some really cool numbers out of this. I think that will do it. See if you can get onto it with that.
Sure. This is ultra-utilitarian styling.
Yes. I'll let you move things as you see fit.
Yeah.
I will, however, just there we go. Turn off the power. That'll do. Focus. There we go. How much would you get for this FX set on the market now? Well, Chris S is a reasonable judge of the value of parts, and he reckons that this platform could be worth sort of 120 to 150 pounds, which wouldn't surprise me because there are people who will pay big money for older stuff. But I don't know. I'm very jaded about this CPU because, like I said, I dailied it, and when I switched off of this to a mediocre old Intel, I got massive gains. It's not a good CPU.
Games.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do I not have a spare Mobo box we could sit that on? Ah, we don't need that. It's fine. Right, you're doing that. I'm going to go and get the thing.
Indeed. Does this have Molex? Or did we mod that to SATA?
Pass. We can make something that works.
Ah, I'm loving the amount of thermal paste on this CPU.
Did I not replace it? Or is there just a shit ton?
Fabulous spread job.
It's all on the bottom of the cooler. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this is why I wanted to get serious, because yeah. Right, I shall put that down there for a sec. Right, I'm going to get a box and put it there.
That indeed is functional.
Right, what's our reach like?
Good
That
enough.
seem good?
Yeah.
All right, I'll hand that over to you for a sec.
Stay.
Ooh, right, get some power into this bad boy. Right, right, what on earth did we do with this? So we've got a fan controller for the rad fans on this, and then a Molex power, which is signal on.
Yeah.
Cool, okay. And we decided we didn't have Molex on this power supply.
Indeed.
So yeah, okay, so we need... So...
So yeah, we need a Molex to go into there.
I think the easiest way to do that might be to switch out to the Game Max.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. We're not pulling more than 850 watts on this today, are we? So.
No.
So yeah, I think the fastest way is to switch power supplies. Groovy. Right. I'll go and grab the power supply. It's time for coil wine, boys. Because yeah, these Game Maxes have got wicked coil wine. Right, I'll let you hook that up. Meanwhile, I'm just going to lower the camera viewer for a minute just to show people what we've actually got.
What are you? Are you CPU?
Is it possible to wake up the screen on the camera without disrupting everything?
Push a button. What's it? Info or something?
I just pushed the menu button.
Yeah.
Hmm. So, right. So this is the freezer that we're using today. Don't ask what make and model it is. No one knows. So this is a literal freezer with a compressor, the whole works. So there's a compressor unit here, a radiator here, and this is our evaporator head. So that's the business end that goes on the CPU. And this guy will freeze the evaporator head down to -50,
-40. Yeah,
-40.
It's a single stain. It's a single state.
Stage.
Single stage one. So yeah,
so single stage freezer. So we're looking for -40 at the head. We may not get -40 at the CPU because obviously you've got a delta going through all the thermal paste and all the rest of it.
Is the box for this CPU in there?
Yes, it is. Why has it got Molex? Oh no.
Because it's modular.
Okay, hang on a minute. I'll
lift from the knees.
Oh, it might actually be bare in the box.
All the same, I will do.
Yeah.
That, you can put that down.
Right, you sit there. You sit there, and I shall adjust the camera angle back up again. Right. I'm chopping off the top of my head slightly. Let's come back out a little bit. Yeah, that'll do.
That's about right. Okay. Oh my god.
GameMax PSU it is. It is the GameMax RGB.
850, it's the 850 gold.
So yeah, this is the 850 gold one. This one comes in 750, 850, and 1050 if my memory serves me. Or 650, 850, and 1050. So yes. We were previously using my Antec 1000, but I don't have a Molex chain for the Antec. I probably do somewhere, I just don't know where it is. So it was faster just to swap power supplies. Right. I'll let you carry on rigging that up because you know it better than I do.
There you go. This needs unscrewing.
Okay, you want your circlip remover? Whoop.
Oh yeah. We've also got that.
Yep. What else do you need?
The actual other plate then.
Yes.
There's the other.
Oh, I think that's still in the box. Yes. Whoop. There's our AMD bracket. I'll hold it while you circlip it.
Oh my god, get in there. Get.
Have you tried squeezing it? Oh. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. I was trying to get the thing in and then failed. There we go. Then all of that should just slide. Come here. Pull you out so you're not in the way. Ooh. There we go. So if you want to do a close up, that's the evaporator head.
Ah. Huh. All right. Okay. I'll set while I literally just swapped cameras.
Oh no, not quite.
So there's the evaporator head with all of the surrounding removed. So as you can see, it's actually got quite a narrow hose going down to it. And then there's the business end of it. I noticed the business end on this is quite rough rather than lapped. Is that just to get better contact to hold the thermal paste in place?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I doubt it. I think it's just a case of that's how this one came.
Yeah.
Because
okay,
this one is second hand.
Yeah.
At best, probably more like 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
There you go. Where is that?
I'll come back around here again. How much did the freezer cost? You acquired this through a friend of a friend, didn't you?
I acquired this through a friend, indeed, for free.
Yeah. So, it used to be cooling a high-speed stock trading server, where and stock trading servers, you need balls to the walls CPU performance. The faster your CPU goes, the more stock you can trade faster, and the more money you make. So for them, whatever it takes to go faster, and that's where this thing came from. A friend of ours clears out old systems, and the system was being cleared out, and it was being thrown out. So yes, you can't just go out and buy one of these. I don't think. I think they're out there, but I think they're eye-wateringly expensive because they're custom made. So the answer to how much does it cost is I don't know. And the answer is where can I buy one from is I don't know, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
They're very difficult to get hold of, these setups.
When we turn it on, there should be a name on the screen which I can shout out.
Yeah. Right, is that the correct backplate?
No, that's the one from the other cooler, but the other backplate's an AM4 backplate.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, this backplate will work though, yeah. Right, are you... Yeah, we test fitting first.
Is that roughly in line with those holes?
Right.
Yeah.
1.
And then that's roughly
2,
in line there. So that's fine. Yeah.
3, 4.
Cool. It does have
that's,
an AM3
that's going to go
option.
on, yeah.
Excellent.
There you go, you're free. Alright. Time to paste. Whoop. Have fun, watch out for the penguins. Sure will. There you go.
Oh, stop.
Patterns!
Stop. Desist. Halt.
Are we going for the pea-sized blob and squish, or do you want me to spread?
I was going for stop. Damn it. There you go. I think we should spread it.
Okay.
Just because that is quite uneven.
Yeah. I'm not very practiced at spreading, by the way, so I'm just gonna butter this like a slice of toast.
Yeah. That'll do. We're not world record attempting. So simply on there is more than good enough.
Yeah, I think we've got the more or less got the area that cold plate is actually going to cover anyway.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I think we're going to have a fair. I think we're going to have a fair amount of the cold plate exposed. There we go.
That'll do. That'll do. Oh, come on. No.
Stand by and I shall assist.
There you go.
Okay, yeah. I was just getting something to put this down so we didn't put thermal paste everywhere.
Get over here. There you go.
Whoop.
Prepare for 6 hours of screwing.
I like how these are slotted screws as well, just for maximum irritation.
Well, yeah. Where's your little electric?
That's a brilliant idea. I don't. Yeah. It's almost like we have a tool specifically for this.
It's almost like we're a tool. No, wait, hold on.
Right. Circular electric screwdriver goes.
Wee, 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 wee. Oh yes, it's got a torque setting, doesn't it?
Yes.
So that way you roughly know that they're torqued similarly.
Yes, that's true actually, yeah.
Which will be the first time I've ever known.
Yeah.
So that's the problem with this. Obviously, there's no stops.
When you just said stops then, I thought you were going, stop. And I was like, have I just bent the board in half?
No, there are no stops.
Yeah.
That is.
These screws will keep turning until we snap the board in half. That's so, yeah. I think we're uneven, but that one's loose, man. I think I've got a cross thread on that one. I might back that one out and put it back in again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pulling that one out.
Oh, you can see the screws bent.
Yeah, that screws. I'll manually turn it. Let's see if we can straighten it. Oop. Right, okay, how's that looking? I mean, it's on there. Should we fire it up and give it a spin?
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Okay. The boy is not plugged in yet.
LD Cooling.
LD Cooling.
That's
all right.
the brand. Yes. Apparently, their website is ldcooling.com. It was made in Slovenia.
Oh, okay. ldcooling.com from Slovenia. Shout outs to you guys. There's been a smush of thermal paste from under it. Can't see because the insulation gets in the way.
There you go.
You'll know when it turns on. Oh yeah, let's switch to...
Oh, good.
Okay, we posted. And our CPU temperature is soaring because our cooling hasn't kicked in yet.
Yeah, okay. It is...
Is it still getting ready?
Yeah, not going to start for 3 minutes.
Yeah. Does it want to settle or something?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it needs to settle before it can start. All right, stand by. While that does that, I'm going to set up a view.
It is shockingly finicky to get it to actually turn on.
Yeah. You don't want to daily drive one of these things. Right. What was I looking for? I wanted... We want the HDMI capture here.
Yes.
Right.
And then whilst we're waiting for this, we can Captain tape to the back of the socket.
Sure. Captain tape. We should have done this first. Oh, heck. Yeah, okay. Where should we go? Just on the back of the bypass caps?
Yeah, just stick it in there.
Balls.
There we go, that's better. The timer is actually ticking down.
I don't want to short the bypass caps with the thing.
I see. Do you want to stick it on like the back of one of these?
Yeah, let's just go. We'll just go proximity with this. Just stick it about there. So this is kind of going to be a bit of a proximity temperature, but it just gives us a rough idea on. There you go. It just gives us a rough idea on what's going on underneath the board at the very least. I don't think this is going to give us a useful temperature. but it does tell us if the board is actually frozen. So,
which will just be interesting to demonstrate.
Yeah. Let's see.
Please wait.
Video capture. Add existing. Live Gamer HD2. Transform. Edit transform. Oh, that's not even what I wanted to do. Right, we're going to go for that one. And then I'm going to want the Brio. There we go. I'm just adjusting my cameras while we wait for the freezer to settle. 640 by 360. Aha!
There you go.
It's making freezer noises. I gather you guys can hear that. How much of that is coming through? I think you guys should be able to hear that making noises.
Can you hear it rushing in the head?
I could hear a bit of a noise, yeah. That's surprisingly not that noisy, actually.
Yeah, that's just the refrigeration bit. It's effectively turned off.
Oh, that's not the compressor.
Yeah. No, that's all of the refrigeration side. Most of the noise is the fans.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let's listen.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Even still, that's not as loud as I recall it being. That's surprisingly tame. All right. The noise cancellation kicked in. Yeah. Just an interesting. I'll just turn off all the noise filtering.
How cool that fan is running. That's the important fan.
There we go. That's raw output from the microphone now with no noise filtering.
Yeah, for some reason one of the fans isn't working. But it's the one at the back, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah, that's
it's
just case cooling,
loose
isn't
case
it?
one.
Yeah.
And obviously, because there's no side panel, it doesn't really matter.
Alright, I'm going to turn on the noise suppression again, just so you guys don't have to listen to the din. What? Still not unreasonably loud, but loud. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, let's switch over to HUD-me.
There we go, the evaporator's at -18 now.
Ah, good. Right.
So the board should be at 20? 25-ish?
We're getting 32 at the back of the board, but yeah. Incidentally, oh boy, hold on a sec. Interesting things are happening. So we've got something fun already. Transform, rotate 180. There we go. So already the board's postcode, which was reading CPU temperature, is on FF.
Does that stand for fully
frozen? Let's call it that. Yeah. So what's the board indicator in hardware monitor?
There you go.
Oh, look at that! Lovely.
Hey, look, the temperature might actually even be accurate at this point.
Maybe.
Because the head says it's at -35.
Although that much being said, look, the CPU isn't giving us a temperature reading. Whereas before it was giving us a false temperature reading. It's just not there now.
Sorry, I meant this CPU one.
Yeah.
On the MSI.
However, yeah, the motherboard monitor, yeah.
That's saying 28. The EVAP is saying 36.
That's not a bad delta. It looks like we actually got a good mount.
There you go, it's just gone down to 29. See?
Yeah. Alright, so it looks like we've actually got a half-decent mount. Back of the board temperature is falling. We're at 27 now, whereas previously we were at low 30s. So that's going to slowly come down as the cold sinks through the board.
Yeah, I think the EVAP's roughly hit its maximum, roughly.
Yeah. So now
-37.
So this is a fun demonstration. The question is whether it actually does anything for us then at this point.
So what's the power?
Oh yeah.
Just at the wall
100
now.
at the moment.
Which is slightly lower than it was, wasn't it? Wasn't it something like 115, 120?
Yeah, possibly, yeah. Although, I think because we're not on load, it's a bit of a meaningless number.
Oh yeah, but just a case of, interesting.
All right, let's see if it was actually worth anything.
One?
Because, of course, we may just fail this again and find that we've gotten absolutely nowhere. And this will be a fun demonstration, but we may not have actually achieved anything. All we've done is just put a fancy cooler on it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Base frequency was 3.6? Yeah, 3.6, and we're looking for 4.4 at the moment. But the problem is, for those of you who have joined us while we were setting this up, the motherboard can't go past 1.45 volts, and we need more volts. That's where we're stuck at the moment. The CPU could go further if we pumped more power into it, but we don't have the volts, because the motherboard won't do it. So we're hoping that freezing it will get us further. Well, I say further. Even if we get a stable 4.4, that will be a successful demonstration. So yeah, we're on load at 186 watts. We've knocked 115 watts off of our power load.
One pass.
That's cool, man. Look at that. We haven't even changed the parameters, and we're stable.
Yeah.
That's what Sub-ambient does.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That was exactly what we wanted from this demonstration, is showing how Sub-ambient is not just more cooling, it's a whole different kind of cooling. The Vapor Chill is using 200. Yeah, probably.
No, it's using 400.
Yeah, 400. Yeah, there you go. Have you had that on a power meter then?
Yeah, on your
Oh,
one.
right. Oh, yeah. When Caradog first acquired this, we did actually spend a day messing around with it. But
yeah, on a 4770K.
Yeah.
And we got nowhere.
The video got thrown out because we had a bad mount, we had a bad IHS, we spent...
Oh, God,
we were
that was
recording...
an awful IHS for that 4770K.
The CPU needed deliding, and we didn't have the equipment to do that, and we killed one of my i5s practicing deliding. And it was...
Oh, God.
We learned a lot on that day. Have we crashed?
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, no.
No. I was saying ups to the i5.
Yeah.
Because I'd entirely forgotten that. But
I mean, it was a low-end i5. It wasn't a good i5, but still, yeah. It was a good day of learning.
There you go.
But
it's past now.
Bang in. What's that? 85.54. How's that?
That's
85.54. That's our fastest, and that's stable.
Interesting.
4.6. Let's go.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, 4.6. Let's go. We're rolling again, boys. We're going.
That's dumb.
I love it.
Excellent.
What would Turbo Boost do with this cooler? Well, the problem...
Pure just leaving it to Turbo Boost. My 5950X went from averaging all-core at 4.4 something to doing all-core 5.2.
Yeah.
At 550 watts.
Bear in mind, though, this is an FX with very early turbo boost, and what that means, it's not floating turbo. What it does is, if you are on a single or dual core load, it will go to turbo clock speed. If you are on an all core load, it goes to base speed. And basically that's your lot. So we won't get more out of more out of turbo. The turbo on this is just simply a secondary clock setting that it will go to under certain conditions. However, we're looking for all core speed. I mean, that much being said, we might get further on single core. I mean, we might be able to, like...
Oh, you should be able to,
yeah. Like, we might be able to get, like, we said we wanted 5 gigahertz. We might be able to do 5 gigahertz single core or something like that. So, yeah, it might be worth doing that because, you know, like, we're not going to get the numbers that I wanted because we can't do the volts. Unless this thing really is magic, but, yeah. That much being said, because we're now because we're a full 100 watts lower power consumption, that might be what's getting us. We haven't run out of power in the power delivery anymore. So yeah, was the CPU at 230 in the BIOS reading? Oh no, I didn't spot that.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm excited now because we're rolling again. I was running out of steam because as soon as we hit that 4.45 ceiling, I thought we were done. I thought the stream was over.
Yeah.
And now we're cruising again. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Interesting, the back of the board's still at 30-something C.
Yeah.
Even though the CPU should still just about be minus.
Where's the thermal camera?
I've got it set up if you want it.
I'll see if it will work. Let's see if it will behave on mine for once.
Yeah.
Or, oh yeah, oh you got it there. Yeah, cool. You were quicker. Time for Flair.
I'm out of coffee. Oh, it failed.
Ah.
That's an 87. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get that much further. What power it? Oh, we're up to 267 again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that going up to 4.6 added in a lot of power draw. God, that's some interesting deltas. Okay, right. Hang on a sec. I'm going to adjust cameras while we're running this.
That's very confusing.
So, let's see.
CPU's still negative. Okay.
Whoop. So here's what our temperatures look like at the moment. So as you can see, we've got reflections. This is not the best way to do this. Let me adjust the camera angle just so we haven't got glare everywhere. There we go. So as you can see, we've got all that heat coming from the VRMs, and then it goes super chill at the actual CPU head. That's a very terrible way of showing you this, but that's all I can manage right now. Is the face cooler not too loud? It's not horrendous, actually. I'm not having to shout, you know. I wouldn't want this in my bedroom.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not shouting. Let's close that at the moment. Put a fan on the VRMs. Oh, yeah, VRMs are very hot. Where's my... 65 on the heatsink. Do we have a VRM reading in hardware info? I'll be impressed if we do.
Come across over here, thank you.
No.
No.
Making some bloopy noises. Let's see if the flare can see under there. Could you think for me? So. I always forget when you're using the FLIR. You've got to remember that the lens is over here, is on the FLIR itself, and not in the top corner of the cam of the phone, which is where you're used to the lens being. Oh yeah, we've got hotspots of high 80s down there. So yeah, I think the VRMs are blowing up. If we cool the VRMs, we might get more power.
Power.
Yep. I'll get a fan for the VRMs.
Cool. There are 140s down there.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I've got one right behind me. This will do.
Now the question is, can we get a Cinebench score of more than 7?
Right.
I thought you were just going to stick a screwdriver through there. Where's that CPU reading? There. I want that one. I want that reading visible there.
Want that one? There we go. Right, that should slash our VRM temperatures. That might actually get us further because I think the chat might be right. I think we might be running out of power. Could you do it one more time for me, please? Thank you.
Thank you. if we can.
Yeah, that's
finish
coming
a
down.
multi-core run.
There's still a lot of heat in there, but I think it's coming down. It's going to take a while. Yeah, it's going to take some time to bring those temperatures down, but I think if we give it a little bit of time.
Time for the slowest filling of squares.
Yeah. Any condensation yet? I don't think we're cool enough around the motherboard. I don't think it's had time. No, motherboard's in the 40s.
Yeah.
I think the VRMs are keeping the board warm. Our VRMs are literally board heaters at the moment. Back of the motherboard is at 40 degrees C.
So yeah.
So yeah, this is actually a very good setup in terms of our thermals and our mount and stuff. It's just we don't have the power delivery that we need at the moment.
Yeah, the mount is okay.
Yeah.
Because the CPU's at -14, whereas the
I
EVAP
see.
head's at -32.
Oh, okay. The delta's widened out then. Yeah.
Yeah, but also obviously it's using 200 and...
Yeah, we're at 250 watts at the moment.
Yeah.
I didn't see if that came down when I put the fan on the VRMs or not. I might see if I might grab one of the other fans and see if we can get some more airflow onto that. Time for Noctuas.
Noctua.
Oh, is it Noctua?
Mm. Oh, have we locked up? Oh no. I think 2 of the threads might be unhappy. Oh no.
Stick that in.
Oh, this is a good demonstration of a tar renderer though.
How
Because
so?
look at how they're completing at different speeds,
Yeah.
depending on the complexity of the square they're rendering. And
Yeah.
It shows that each thread is independent.
Oh, shush. That's the multimeter going, "You've left me turned on." I'm like, yes. Yes, I did. Go. There we go. That should help out a bit more. A bigger fan.
What?
That's how it came, man.
What?
Yeah. It's janky as hell, and I don't like it. I'm not going to lie, these Noctua Chromaxes, not the best purchase. They're good fans, but They didn't make a difference, is the interesting thing. So far, my journey of switching from a H500i to a fractal torrent is fans don't make a difference, case airflow makes a difference,
Yeah.
basically. So, Caradog's the mad lad with that pronunciation.
Noctua!
Don't knock Tua. Don't knock tuna. You need a proper Delta fan. Yeah, I don't... Oh, actually, I do have a blow-emitron. I'm going to see if I can find my
There you go.
blow-emitron. Oh, we got a...
3563 points.
Yay.
Your score, right? Let's just go. There you go. Oh look, a mobile i7 is faster.
I think that's more of an embarrassment for that mobile i7, quite frankly.
Yeah, an i7 4850 HQ is like 400 points faster.
Oof.
Oh dear. So, see, we are Cinebench stable.
Right, I'm looking for my blow-emitrons.
Oh dear. Huh. Apparently, 3563 is nearly the same as a 2600K.
Really?
Apparently.
2600K, yeah. That's not bad, I guess.
Oh yes, our CPU running at 232C.
Oh yeah. No. I know I've got some bonkers fans somewhere which are crazy blowimatrons. However, I know I've got them, but they're in a box or a bag in the back room from the move, and it'll take me half an hour to find it. So I'm not going to do it while the chat waits.
So I've gone for more speed.
Well, okay. Are we saying forget Limpact stable? Let's go Cinebench stable.
Well, I'm seeing if I can get Cinebench to finish another multi-core.
Yeah. Fair enough. I think giving the VRMs a slight break is helping as well. I can actually hold my finger against the VRM heatsink now. Whereas previously that was an insta ow kind of move.
Yeah, the back of the board's back down to 29.
Yeah.
Pew whip. 4.8. There you go, there's the CPU. And then start.
Multicore.
Multipass.
Multipass.
There you go.
Okay, so our CPU temp is rising again.
Yes. There we go. Crashed.
Ah, okay, yeah. What speed were you aiming for? Wait, 4.8?
Yeah.
What were we previously at?
4.6.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, because we had 4.4 was stable, wasn't it?
Because of the freezing, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's try.
What's the power go up to?
I didn't see.
I just started it again.
Oh, okay. We're at 256. 255. Is it still going?
Yeah, it hasn't crashed yet.
I think if we can keep the power under 260, I think it will hold. I think we're running out of VRM. And to be honest, that's fair because this was a mid-range board in its day, and we're asking it to dish out a couple of 100 watts on its VRM. That's probably why the voltage only goes up to a 1.45, because it literally doesn't have the VRM to do anything more than that.
Yeah, probably.
Is it rendering in the middle? Because I'm not seeing anything producing.
Oh no, it's just locked up.
Ow.
Yeah, it's just locked up.
Yeah. Sadness.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's try 4.7 then. Oh, yeah, other one. Yeah, well, let's see if we can get 4.7. And we're on 2 hours. Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll look for... Let's look for 4.7, and we'll see if we can get that then. Because that wasn't the 5 gigahertz we were hoping for, but at the same time, the fact that we set up the freezer and then got further with the freezer means we have at least achieved what we set out to do, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just hoping for bigger numbers today.
Yeah.
But if I'd known that the board topped out at 1.45, I probably would have arranged something else. Turn spread spectrum off.
It's already off.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was never on.
Yeah, spread spectrum is off by default on most modern systems. Try the kilowatt power supply.
What difference is that going to make? It's just a VRM. It's the voltage. It's the voltage and thus also by extension the VRM.
Yeah. We're not short on... I mean...
Well, because it's only pulling 240 from the
Yeah,
wall.
I was just going to say,
it's an 800 watt power supply.
We're not going to struggle to get 240 down the EPS connector. So, yeah.
Because it's a 300 and something watt
Yeah.
connector. 4.7.2 apparently. CPU.
Let's see. SUD Cyberpower GeForce RTX 3080 Ti Ryzen 9. What's that going to be? A 5900X, I assume. 16 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte hard drive, 1 terabyte NVMe, worth 1300 more than 3070 Ti Ryzen 7. I don't think it's worth 1300 more. Although the GPU is going to be what, 800 quid. So that's going to be say £300 in the GPU, and well, £300. It's no, not that much more. I would say maybe 700 or 800 quid more, but not 1300 more.
Yeah, isn't the 3070 Ti's MSRP 800?
Yeah, I'm assuming that graphics card is going to be about 800 quid, and I'm assuming that the 3080 Ti...
But it is 13, isn't it?
Yeah, but for a like 1200, say 1200. Yeah. Pretend it's 1200, so actually, yeah. Probably close to 100 or 1000. 1300, there's definitely some margin in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We're buffering. Boo. Hopefully we come back at some point. RTX 3080 Ti, currently 1300. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you're getting ripped off. I don't think it's... there's definitely more margin on that more expensive computer. I don't think it's a rip-off.
No.
But it's... but yeah, you could DIY it for cheaper.
Just about.
Yeah. Right, how are we doing? We're at 253 at the wall. 253 at the wall. VRMs are still finger temperature.
That's good.
So yeah, we're not blowing up anymore. Just going to see if that will behave on my phone, just so I... So my one seems to have a mind of its own. I need to get a new phone. I'm out of contract. What Pixel should I get? I want to buy a Pixel, but I don't know which one to get.
Depends on... To me, it depends on whether the 4A goes on special offer again.
Yeah.
If the 4A goes on special offer again, because they did at one point take £100 off of it, then yeah, I'd go for that. Or depends what prices the Pixel 6 launches at, because that's October.
Yeah, I might wait for that and see if I can get that on contract.
I don't know if it'll be good pricing, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Are we alive? We're still alive. This is looking promising. We're at 37 on the back of the board. This is a fairly stable setup. It's such a pity that we can't pull any more through the motherboard, because if we hadn't run out of VRM, we could go places with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
This never works properly on my phone. I'm glad it works properly on your phone at least, because it means it's not the FLIR itself. But it never detects on mine. It just sits there going, oh, you need to plug it in.
I have a bunch of issues getting it to work at some point.
Oh, okay,
just
yeah.
Pulling it out, plugging it back in, pulling it out, plugging it back
yeah,
in. And then eventually when it worked, it's like it seemed to work after that.
Yeah.
But it was getting it to initially set up, because it also seems to do some sort of Bluetooth thing as well.
Oh, that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
All right, we won.
The score is basically the same.
Yeah, we haven't gone up by enough for it to matter. Just out of interest, let's try a Limpack run and just see how it's feeling at the moment.
Yeah, well, 4.6 was unstable.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe we can push. Maybe we can push past a wall, though. You know.
Possibly.
I mean, I'm. This is kind of a This is kind of a mad lad sort of Hail Mary, you know. because this is basically the last we've got now at this point. I think we're done, in short. Which, as I say, I'm a little bit sad. I wanted to go further, but yeah, I think I'm at the point now where I'm just like, we're at the ceiling. We can't go any further without a bigger motherboard, and we don't have that, and I'm not going to buy that.
Yeah.
I have no interest in spending money on an AM3 platform. Unless someone randomly has a badass AM3 motherboard that they want to send me for free.
Yeah.
Try hacking the BIOS bin file. I don't know if it's that simple. I don't know how to do that, in short.
The other issues, I've no idea if the VRMs are actually physically good enough.
Yeah. I mean, we have managed to wipe the temperature down on them. So, I mean, it might be more stable now that we've just pushed the VRM temperature down. Because they were on fire, and we've now actually taken out that heat. Do more YouTube shorts, buy business phone as a business expense. It still costs money! A business expense still costs money! We're at 250 at the wall. I think the VRMs are a lot happier than they were.
No,
oh, has it died? Oh, okay. That's why we're at 250 then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well. Well, at least we got a little bit further.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well. Should we start wrapping up? Because I think we're done, aren't we?
Can do.
Yeah. Unless you can think of anything else that's going to get us further.
Not on this one, no.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Depends how much you like to fight the tax man. It still costs me money. Anyway. Not impressed with the Bluetooth on your 4A 5G. Just be silent. Yeah, I think we're done there. Yeah. You got one that needs socket repair? Yeah. I mean, I have got a spare AM3 socket because I'm gearing up to practice socket replacements on motherboards. It's on the back burner though at the moment. Yeah. Submerge the board in mineral oil. Yeah, it's not a cooling issue at this point. We've got enough cooling, but the VRMs can't do it. We're just out of puff, basically. We're out of electricity, and we need a board with bigger VRMs. So yeah. However, we got to 4.4 unstable on air, and then we got further on the freezer. So we didn't. I really wanted to see 5 gigahertz for the lulz. However, we got to. So that was what 4.7 Cinebench stable.
It completed Cinebench at 4.7.
Yeah. Did we get 4.6 stable?
No.
No. Yeah.
It tapped out at 4.4.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, we had 4.4 on the freezer, so we stabilised.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. That okay. Yeah, that was the max.
Out at 4.4 with the freezer.
That was the max success. Yeah. You just got 2800 on the 2600K stock, and that's thermal throttling. Last owner put fresh paste on top of the old paste with a stock cooler. Oof. But yeah, the stock cooler's gonna hold you back in any case, though. You know that. Voltage injection with bench power supply. No. Bench power supply is not accurate enough to deliver VRM power. Because don't forget, when you go through VRMs, you've got a 12 volt input and it's stepping that down to, say, 1.4 volts. We're pulling 300 watt. Well, we're looking to pull up to 300 watts. So let's calculate that for a moment. So that would be 300 divided by 1.4, which means you need a bench power supply that can do 214 amps. That's why you need big VRMs on your motherboard. It's not the watts or the volts, it's the amps. That's what makes VRM systems so crazy and why we have these crazy multi-phase VRMs, because we need to deliver hundreds of amps. That's the killer.
Yeah, 5 gigahertz won't even boot Windows.
Ah, yeah. What's the socket power? I know 8 pins about 300 watts. Yeah, something like that. We're not at that limit though, because as I say, we're trying to pull sort of 275 from the wall, and some of that is going to be the rest of the board. So
some of that's going to be VRM heat, some of that's going to be PSU heat.
Yeah. So if we assume, let's pretend that like 15 or 20 watts of that is everything else. It's actually going to be more than that, but let's pretend it's only 20 watts. That still means that the VRMs are having to pull like 240, 250 watts. And yeah, this VRM just can't do it. So yeah. Not milliamps, but whole amps. Yes, whole amps.
No. 4.9 won't load the desktop.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see what the maximum all-core I can get the desktop to load at now.
Yeah.
Whilst you're wrapping
While
up.
I'm waffling, yeah. Amps because the voltage is so low. Correct. Yep. Right. So yeah. Right. Okay. Wrapping up then. Yeah. Thank you everyone for tuning into this. So yeah, I kind of wanted to see 5 gigahertz out of this because I thought we were going to suicide run. I thought we were going to be able to I thought we were going to like 1.7 volts on this boy, and we were gonna go up to like 1.4, 1.45 on air, and then we were going to switch over to the freezer and go into the big numbers. But the motherboard can't do it. However, we did get further with the freezer, so it was a really good demonstration on how sub-ambient cooling gets you further, because it's not just more cooling, it's different cooling. And silicon does weird things when it's sub-ambient. It drastically lowers the power consumption of the silicon, which means it can do more. So, yeah. I think that was still an interesting demonstration. I just wish we could have gone further with a bigger motherboard, but there we go. Hopefully that was kind of cool. So yeah, nice to see some Sub-Zero here. Yeah. So yeah, big thanks for everyone for tuning in. I think we should try doing this again sometime. I think we should try this again with the 8600K. And see what that can do at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I did have fun today, and while I don't know,
Desktop loaded.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to suicide run my 8600K, but I'm certainly willing to give it the beans.
Yeah.
So yeah, an FX8350 will let you run more volts. Yeah, it may well be because we had an 8130 instead of an 8350. An 8150 instead of an 8350. I think that's where we fell over.
But there we go.
Yeah.
4.8 loaded the desktop at least.
Yeah. That's something. That's still cool. It's still under warranty. Good. All right, let's get out of here then. So yeah, as I say, thank you as always for everyone for showing up. We will be back here next week, same time, same place, with something else. We'll come up with something in time, I'm sure. I don't know if we're going to be doing crazy overclocking next week. Who knows? We'll see what we're in the mood to do. We kind of make these things up a day or two before. So yeah, if you kill it, just send it back. Yeah. What's the point of overclocking? Because if you've got an older CPU, you can make it go faster. Well, if you've got a newer CPU, you can make it go faster. My 8600K, my 5800X at home, I do video encoding, my video editing on it, and the faster my CPU goes, the faster I can encode videos. So 8150 max is 1.5. Okay, yeah, so we're literally limited by the CPU then. Fine.
Interesting.
Yeah. Good. All right, we're going to shut down. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm going to hit stop streaming now. So I'll catch you guys all later. What are you doing now? Are you starting to overclock the RAM? Mm-hmm. What CPU speed are you going to?
4.2.
Oh, are you just seeing if we can get more with more RAM?
No, I'm just seeing what the highest I can set the RAM is, and it's only 2133.
Yeah.
So I assume if I go to...
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, 1.5 is probably spec, but obviously different motherboard manufacturers can put in whatever they want, technically. But yeah. Anyway, I have wrapped up. We're going. Thank you very much. Good evening, Jonathan. We're literally hitting stop streaming now, but thank you anyway. Check out the VOD. Right, toodle pips, everyone. I've got to find the right window. Thank you and good night.
Ta-ra!
Bam.
Wow. Goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen.